Hey guys, greetings. I'm back at the Woonasquatucket Railroad. This is in Smithfield, Rhode Island. As you can see ahead of me, these train tracks, or this trail right here, used to be train tracks rather, and they removed the tracks a long time ago, and now they're just part of an abandoned walking system that cuts through town. Today I want to do a little investigation, and I'm looking for this place that was known as the Georgia Smith Mill. I think it was also known as the Belfry Mill. This was a mill from the early 1800s that they took down maybe like 10 years ago and started building this housing system over here in this place. But you know, you look on Google Maps or Google Earth and you see in the historical view that the actual building of the mill was actually standing here for a while, until about 2006. And I'm just really curious to see if there's any kind of remnants or remains that might still be in the woods of the mill. So I'm gonna go in there and take a look and do a little investigation. We might find nothing. We might be able to find some foundations or remains where another historical textile mill in Smithfield might be that was lost to time. So come and join me and let's see what we can find. So down that way is what's known as Higgins Street. The original mill, it was called the Georgia Cotton Mill. It was located where this was called Georgiaville Village, and this is the entrance of the train track that used to run behind this mill. The mill was built in 1813 by somebody named Samuel Nightingale, or Nightingale, Samuel Arnold, and somebody else, Thomas Thompson. That's an interesting name. It was founded as the Georgia Cotton Mill, but it was also known as the Belfry Mill. And it was built in 1813 and contained over 1,000 spindles to spin cotton. And it must have burned down or was demolished, because after that, just a raw foundation exists. And then you have the newer buildings, which were built here a little less than 10 years ago, these houses. So right now we're standing on the train track of the Woonasquatucket Railroad. This was a train that would start up in northern Massachusetts, prominently in Worcester, and this would go all the way down to New York City. Apparently it was part of the New England Trunk Line Trail that would run from mainly Boston to New York and everywhere around it. Over here is very interesting. I filmed this in a short, but we actually have bamboo that grows in Rhode Island. The temperate climate is good for it, I guess. And we have this is yellow groove bamboo, it's called. It's an invasive species, so I don't know if it's legal to even plant in the area anymore, because it spreads and grows under the ground. You can see it's poking up everywhere. This looks like it could have been an old train stop too, those historical cement blocks. So I would imagine that maybe the train would stop here and just like a decoration. These could have been tiny little plants 200 years ago. So now, back to the mill. I'll put a couple old pictures of what the mill used to look like up. But it should have been somewhere around here. So let's see if we can find any evidence of there being an old mill. I'm gonna find an entrance. The foundation for the actual building itself would have been where these houses are now. They built over. However, I am already seeing some interesting things, because I'd imagine the area was so big and prominent that there would have been some ruins and remains of something around, any kind of materials. So right here is something. This could be something from the original mill. I don't know what it is. It looks like a manhole cover, but that's old. And most mills have a stream or a river that runs under them, or had a stream or a river to keep it powered. And that looks like it could have been one of the streams. So right now I'm leaving the walking trail and I'm going off the beaten path to see what's down here in this flattened area, because this is probably where we're going to see remains from the mill. We have a glass panel right here. This could have been from something, or could have even just been construction left over from the homes. Oh, so I've never been down here to this point. So you guys are going to explore this with me. I mean, we're going to see if there really is anything left over of the Georgia cotton mill. This is really cool because you can see this is where the stream that must have powered the mill would cut through. It's very dry nowadays. I don't know if it was dammed up. I'm assuming it was powered from the Georgiaville Pond, which is right up the street. Okay, here's something. This is definitely something from the old mill. Looks like some kind of a rug. I thought it was cement at first, so maybe not. I see some tarp. This looks like almost something that could have been on the roof. See if we can find any other remnants. On Google Maps currently it just looks like there's a flat area. There's not really much left of the actual mill itself. Let's see. It looks like it could have been remains of a rock wall. Okay, here's something. That was something, and it's old because, you know, it's corroded and rusted. I'm just saying, it was such a large mill that it just seems strange to me that there'd be no remnants of it here. I mean, even the Capron mill that was filmed in an earlier video still has its foundation and wall. So I'm just trying to see if we can find anything, because this is definitely a mill that's been forgotten and lost to history for sure. Looks like we're walking on the old riverbed. Okay, so the main actual building would have been up there where the homes are now. They must have just removed all of the leftover material from the mill when they built that complex. You can see the mound up ahead where the train tracks are. You know, they're elevated from where the stream bed is over here. This is cool. What is this? Okay, it's a stream that does look like it's been dammed up. Oh, wow. Okay, guys, this is something that's been lost to history right here. And this is what this investigation was all about. I did not realize that the bridge that the train track trail is on is actually elevated over the stream like this with the tunnel. And I even see a little post right here that this could have been from the original mill. Let's do some more investigating and see what's on the other side. So yeah, guys, very interesting. You can see right here there's another little piece of some kind of machinery that must have been from the mill. There's the river flowing, and over here is this tunnel that I found. I really can't believe that this has been here all this time. This is some lost history of the town for sure. But look at that. That is cool. I mean, I never would have expected to find something this serious on this investigation. I thought I was just really gonna just find maybe, if I was lucky, little pieces of machinery like we have found already. But we actually got a structure here that has been lost to time and is still holding up today. Who knows how long it's been around for. And look at the water. I'm not sure there's any kind of snails or crayfish that we can find in here today. Some crawdaddies. But let's keep going this way and see if there's any more remnants of the mill. I thought I saw some kind of a post a little bit deeper in the woods, so let's go check that out. Look at that. That water flowing is really cool. Oh, there's like a little hole in there, watch out for that. Okay, so something's over here, and this might be the last real remaining flat area from where the original mill was, but we definitely just stumbled across something, guys. So let's first investigate this. This could be an old barrel of some sort, even just a trash barrel, but obviously it's very old and it's rotted away. Over here, before we go behind us, let's take a look. This looks like there could have been a walking path that would go to and from the Georgia Cotton Mill. Now, I don't know if it was called the Georgia Cotton Mill or if it was called the Belfry Mill. I've gotten both answers online of this place. Both of them again say it was built in 1813, so it may have been just, you know, changed ownerships throughout the years. But here's another thing right here. Oh, it's a tree twig. Sorry, I thought it was going to be a pipe. And check this out. Okay, so over here, these power lines I saw on Google Maps, and they would definitely run where the old mill was. So we got flat ground over here. That was probably the actual power line that would bring power to the mill. I can see it going up that way as well. Now, if I backtrack a bit over here, I saw some kind of posts we can check out, and there was like a little body of water that could have been like a collection pond maybe for the river. Let's see. Here's a lot of prickly bushes. This is not a hiking trail. This is bushwhacking it today. All right, so this thing right here, not sure. If anybody knows what this was, let me know. And here's this little pond. All right, so yeah. That looks like it was something at some point. I mean, definitely man-made. I don't know if that's a natural pond, but I don't want to risk getting too close to that. There's definitely critters in there. So I'm going to backtrack a bit now, and let's head to the railroad trail again. So we may have found everything there was to find on this Georgia Cotton Mill. I think that any actual remnants of the building are completely gone. They're only going to be found now on images from the past. You can absolutely find some strange metal structures like this, or that's not even metal, that's a fucking football. Alright. So I think that this area really is all that's left of the actual original mill. This mill has been lost to history then, and probably the most memorable thing that you can see from it is going to be that little tunnel we found where the railroad track has the water flowing through it. But this isn't the end of this adventure today, because if we continue down this railroad track that we're going to get back on, there's another park that's historical. The Esmond Conservation Area, and that actually has a little memorial for World War II military men, and there is still a walking trail and a couple cool bridges and a waterfall over there. So why don't we continue down the path and see the rest of this trail. So there is where we were just walking. That's all that remains of the old mill. Here's the power lines that would supply power to the mill. That's a good view right there. Very interesting though that there's so much that you would never expect to see on just what you think is a normal walking trail like this ahead of us, if you didn't know the history behind it, how this was actually a busy industrial area 200 years ago. So we're gonna keep walking. I'm just looking in the woods to see if I can find any more interesting structures. You can see how the river kind of loops around like that. That's definitely man-made. They're directing the flow of the river. So right now I'm just trying to get away from those barking dogs. There are some more side trails over here you can go check out. I've never really ventured much into this area, but I mean, it definitely looks like people have walked and carved out some interesting trails. There's a good spot of the river over there. Let's first take a look at this pond. So this doesn't look so natural right here. This looks like people pile these rocks up, and yeah, the way that this river or stream is carved, how it loops around and goes into that little swamp or lagoon in the middle, that is also that's definitely been engineered. I gotta wonder how much pollution from the mill was in this stream. This is stuff from the old building, possibly, this piping. There's another one of those posts in the middle. Let's continue up this way because it looks like we can get a good view of the stream. Yeah, these must be old walking trails from the mill days because they were paved down by people, you could see, but now they're just overgrown, unlike the main trail up there. So there's like remnants of something here. You can imagine the people walking to and from the mills, from their homes. Oh wow, the river is raging over here. And someone even built like a little structure. This is interesting. So we're across from, this is Whipple Field up ahead. Oh, hey ducks. Wow, okay. So this is the Woonasquatucket River right here. Look at that tree with these roots. What a cool scene. Wow, okay. So that's really cool. I don't mind walking a little bit further and seeing if there's anything else in here. It looks like it starts to get overgrown over here and there's not much left. So what I'm gonna do is, right now, I'm gonna walk up past the hill over here to get back to the tracks, and then we're gonna go to the Esmond Conservation Park and take a look at the river and the bridges up there. So let's climb this steep hill. Oh, there's a lawnmower or something. All right, as I'm climbing, maybe you can look behind me because I can't see behind me. But I wonder if it looks cool. Okay. Getting back on the railroad track right now. Here's some more of these side paths. Usually when I would hike this railroad trail, I would stay on that main path, and I never really ventured out a bit because I didn't think there was much out here until I realized that there was the mill. But besides what we found earlier, I don't think we're going to see any other remnants of that particular mill. I think that our best bet now is going to be to walk past all these tires and continue on. All right, so there's more swamp down there to see. We're coming to the exit portal of the railroad track, and on the other side will be the Esmond Park. That still is part of the railroad track we're walking on now, and it's actually going to lead to an active mill that's still in service on the other side. I think that it's been around for hundreds of years. I'm assuming it was renovated. That storm drain. But we might as well go take a look at that. And take a look at this too. If you are in need of a new wicker chair that's been out here for weeks probably, might have a bee's nest in it or cockroaches, maybe some snakes. It's a nice little find. Could use some love. So I'm going to cross the road and we're going to continue on to Esmond Conservation Area, do a little tour of that. So we successfully crossed the road and we have a nice gentleman mowing the lawn of the park behind us. I just wanted you to see there's one of the poems that somebody named Jim Mello had put up in Smithfield, Rhode Island. On the edge of the woods, the wild voice calls me to creation's mysteries. I must follow. I agree with that. As stated earlier in Smithfield, I've seen poems on plaques in a lot of different areas and rocks. So up ahead over here, we're gonna have a little trail that we can take down to the riverbed. Oh, they shut the lawnmower off, thank God. Okay. So this is one of the issues with hiking in a little bit more of an urban area. This is not like deep in the woods or out in the mountains like we were in Monadnock. This is its own thing over here. Semi-urban exploration, I guess you would call it. We are still in nature kind of, but this has been like altered nature, you know. The bridge is beautiful. Look at the view over here. Okay, let's see what we got. Ugh. Let's see. How does that look, guys? So that right there is Farnham Pike, I believe, Route 7. So, look at that. The trees like growing on that split rock. You can see where the river goes down. Sometimes if you're lucky you can see turtles or fish, but I don't see anything today. Let's continue on. That way is overgrown. I'm gonna want to go up the way we came. Look at these mushrooms. Wow. Okay. There we go. We just made it up back to the top. The trail does look beautiful today for sure. Look at that, it's beautiful. If you're lucky sometimes you might be able to see some birds, some herons, some cormorants, and this is really cool over here. So a while back I filmed a ghost hunting video where I came here at night and I found this strange structure over here in the woods. Yeah, so that use at your own risk. Yeah, so I wonder if anybody would actually go up there and sit on there. It looks like something that a hunter would use, but I don't know how the hell you're gonna hunt right here with these homes on the other side of the trail. But that's a cool find, especially if you come here at night and that pops out at you. All right, guys, we're coming towards a cool spot right here. This is a bridge that was built a while ago. I can't give you the exact date, but you can see the stream leads down there to the greater Woonasquatucket River. And look at that nice little storm drain right here. I did an earlier walkthrough of the video where I got a good shot of this. I'll have that video linked to the end of this one if you just want to get a nice little brief walkthrough. And we got some running bamboo, or what is this? This is a Japanese knotweed is the name of this plant. It's not actually bamboo, it's some kind of a grass. Ugh, I also believe it's invasive and it's really wet as well, so maybe if you're lost in the desert you can drink that. All right, so now we're gonna approach the second bridge over here at the park. And this bridge actually was from the 1800s. They've restored it since then. Let's take a look down this little path and see what we can find over here. Wow, look how green. The spring is definitely out, finally. There was the other bridge up ahead. And yeah, look at that. We're gonna go walk over that bridge next and check out that side of the park. All right. Before the bridge, we actually can walk on a piece of the dam right here. All right, so here's the bridge. If anybody knows what these little posts were for, let me know. I see these around town over some bridges. Look at that. That swamp seems to go on forever. So let's keep walking over here. You can imagine if this bridge really was around since the 1800s, which I think it was, then you know, mill workers would walk over this. Maybe they took horse and buggy. I mean, just a second look. This is steel. I mean, this could have been that old recycled steel, and it's all corroded. This is date of manufacture, actually 1991. So I don't know if this was the original bridge then. Maybe there was a bridge here, but that's not it. We got another poem over here. Same guy, Jim Mello. Before me, the wild, behind the hearth, the two chambers of my beating heart. So, I mean, I guess anybody could really write a poem and just put it into the rocks. That's not a bad idea. Wow, the river over here looks nice, and I had trouble learning to pronounce this for the longest time, but this is how you spell it. The Woonasquatucket River. Woonasquatucket River. In Smithfield at the time, Governor Philip Allen. Let's see, this is the original mill complex that existed prior to 1906. Oh, okay. So, across the street, when we go to the other mill that is active, that is the Esmond mill that currently sits on the same property. That is not the original mill then. Looks like that they replaced it. It still would have been from the early 1900s then. Yeah, the village was renamed Esmond, and the mill operates until 1948. There's the Esmond Dam and mill pond. So that was actually a pond then to feed the mill, which makes sense because the mill's down there. And here's a map of what the historic town looked like. There's the area. Yep, we were hiking through all that undeveloped land, all the green. So let's keep going down this way. This is something really interesting right here. There's more of these posts. And we have a memorial to Lee Bouchard. So he looks like he is the one who founded the Esmond Conservation Area Park. And again, look at how green. This is really interesting to see that. This river right here is the best place to find crayfish. I have seen them here. They're like little lobsters. I don't know how good eating they are in this river, but let's see if we can find anything. Okay guys, yes, I found a crayfish. He's under there in the water right there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see him on the camera, but he's in there. But yeah, there's like a little lobster-like creature in there. This camera's supposed to be waterproof, but I really don't want to risk it. Not right now, at least. But it's cool that we have the little crawdads around here. It almost looks like there's a rotted tire in the woods too, or in the water. Seeing if there's any other little critters in here. That might be out sunning themselves. Here's the other side of the dam that we were at earlier. Wondering if there's any, I don't see one fish. We just saw that one crayfish earlier and that was it. All right. Well, let's continue on and go check out what's left of those mills over there on the other side. It looks like, again, they replaced it with a more modern mill, but it would be cool to see the original foundation. So I guess the official name of this area is Alexander Balffor Square. I wonder if he has anything to do with the World War II. So 1914 and 1918. So that's gonna be World War I, not II. Yeah, in the World War. Wow, okay, so this is a World War I memorial. That's really interesting. 1914 and 1918. So take a look, you can see all the names of the soldiers who served. Balffor, yeah, okay, so this whole area then was designated, or dedicated rather, to really World War I and the Balffor family. Interesting. Let's walk to the other side. So there's the river, and down there you can see the tower of the Esmond Mill. That's probably the original stone wall they used to make sure the river didn't erode, so they can keep a steady flow. And okay, over here is the new updated Esmond Mill. It's private property, I believe, so I don't want to go onto an active business scene, but this, yeah, you can see these posts. It's historic. Oh yeah, good view down there. And this is a more modernized mill than this was built in the, I guess, mid-20th century. So you can only imagine what the 1800s ones must have been like. So much more impressive. All right, guys, well, I think I'm gonna wrap the video up now over here. I started by trying to find the remnants of an abandoned mill, and we're ending at a active mill right now that's still in service. So it shows you how much history Smithfield has. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these old buildings right here are also historical. You can tell by the stone. The parks that I went to today, the main one was the Esmond Conservation Area, which I'll have the address in the description. And we also hiked a portion of the Woonasquatucket Railroad as well, which is an unmarked mainly trail that runs through Smithfield, but it can be found online. So I'm gonna head back through the woods and go back home. I hope you guys enjoyed this historical tour of the mill village of Smithfield. And we're gonna cross Esmond Street Bridge now. Have a good rest of your day and enjoy your life and your hikes.